Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to cilinixfxcapital and welcome to this new video on Zcash. We're going to do a full update on Zcash right here, or ZEC. There's still quite a lot of hype about this. There's actually some new applications, and there's quite a lot of pushing by those big accounts that have already pushed Zcash in the last couple of months about some applications using Zcash. And I saw some actual, I do want to stress before we talk about the technicals, which obviously will focus on the technicals. And today we have the Federal Reserve interest rate decision, which is going to induce some volatility. So we'll talk about some interesting levels, price targets, all of that. But I do want to say that when we're talking about Zcash right here, I do think actually when it comes to privacy and when it comes to our own financial rights, there is real potential to Zcash, right? Now, does that necessarily mean that Zcash is going to increase in price? No, definitely not. But I do want to have mentioned that fundamentally. So Zcash has been quite strong after the breakout. This was generally expected, especially when we actually did break out on Monday. I told you, okay, I think it's most likely we're going to rally up higher. I would have preferred one more move down into the yearly rolling VWAP. But that never always happens, of course. So real breakout, started to push higher. We've broken above the 90-day rolling VWAP. Another strong reaction at the 200 EMA. Overall, I'm actually still quite happy about the potential for Zcash to rally up higher. If you take a look at this, the next real price target is sitting right here at 480 and 500. 480 is the critical value area low of the range that we broke below. Back in November, at the end of November, and then we still have an older fair value gap at 500. If we get a lot of momentum, I can even see 520 with the 30-day rolling VWAP and the previous month point of control. Breaking above that is going to be very tough. And I would also say, because of two reasons, I think it's a little bit better to prepare for some short-term bearish price action. And that's, first of all, the interest rate decision we have tonight. Now, I expect a bullish outcome. I expect them to cut the rate. So that is not the problem. I just think that, I know that ahead of the Federal Reserve interest rate decision, usually you get some de-risking, or at least there's a risk of de-risking, and de-risking is bad. And then outside of that, if you zoom in right here for Zcash, you can actually see that we're forming some bearish divergences, at least with the volume. We had much more volume pushing above to 410 than the volume we have at 445. And we have some minor, it's not incredibly bad, because at the same point of time, we actually do have negative funding rates again, which is great, but we have some minor spot absorption. Okay, you can see right here that we're actually making lower highs right here with the price, even though the futures CVD is making higher highs right here. So what that means is that, basically futures order flow, that's either longs opening or shorts closing, accounts for more than the price is showing. That usually means that shorts are selling off into the price, which is slightly bearish. But like I said, it's nothing big, but those two things together in combination with the resistance level make it a little bit more likely that we're going to push down. The critical support levels I'm looking at are 400, which seems most likely. And then if we get some real federal FOMC volatility, we can still spike down to 380. But I do think at that area between 400 and 380, we'll find support, stability. And it looks most likely, under the current circumstances and under the current momentum that Zcash still has, that we are going to rally up higher. Now, this rally up higher is dependent on a couple of things. Obviously, market circumstances, getting a rate cut, and further order flow development. So that is something I will keep you updated on. But as it stands right now, this seems like the most likely scenario, which I will keep you updated on, which I already said. But that's it for now. So thank you for watching, everybody. Take care, especially with the possible volatility today, and I will see you all in my next videos, hopefully where the camera does not get blurry. Bye.